If you're headed down to San Diego to fish bluefin tuna, the gear can get confusing really quick. There are a million different systems, setups, and jigs. Everybody seems to have an opinion, and I'm here to decipher for you what actually works. My name's Sam Bazant with Real One Adventures, and I'm heading back down to San Diego for my second season this year, and I'm going to show you the gear that worked best for me and what I plan to use moving forward. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining me. So, should we start with what worked? What worked last year was 300 gram tungsten, keeping me vertical, and a 400 gram laser bomb, a Giro lures laser bomb. It's not symmetrical on every axis, so it is on that axis pretty much. It's thicker here, and that's the head part of it. Ignore the bent wire there, but I actually got bit 4 times on this, burning it as fast as I could on retrieve on a full moon when they were not biting the drop. They weren't biting anybody, so I was just cranking this thing through the zone as hard as I could. And I can tell you that will trigger a bite when nothing else will. It's like almost like they just can't let something get away from them. They have to chase it down because they're faster. It's just it triggers something in them. Same with the popper. Like, they're not actually seeing this. It's ripping. They're seeing the cavitation in the water and the motion of it. And they're just biting at it. So I'm going to be bringing my Giro crystal popper down, of course. I have yet to get to use a popper. I can't wait to come onto a foamer. I've got this Penn Battle 4. I'm going to pair with a Okuma Hawaiian popping series rod that I'm actually about to go pick up from my buddy. I can't wait. Along with 2 other rods. I've got 2 of these Fathom 15s. So I have one that's a star drag. This is my light setup. This is going to be paired with an Okuma PCH medium, I believe. A cheaper reel and a rod for the lighter setups is not a bad idea, really. I mean, these Fathoms are made in China. They're high quality. Okay, they are. The difference between a Penn made in China and a Penn made in the United States, there's a drastic amount of quality difference. They make their best stuff still in Philadelphia. Your lifetime reels, like your Visix 16, your Torque 40, which this is my favorite reel that I own. These are great. They're bulletproof. You're going to pay for it, though. The Chinese made Fathoms, the Fathom 15, 25, the 40, up to that zone, they're fine. They're going to get the job done. If you like buying American, I try to as much as I can. Okay, I'm not made of money, though. Like, for those cheaper setups, I went with the Okuma PCH with the Fathoms, okay? I did buy one of these Avets. I used it albacore fishing in Oregon here on real time. The clicker is really exciting when you get bit. I thought it was, they're kind of a blast. A lot of folks do not like these, okay? They do not like the way they are built. They do not like the way they are machined. And the sharp edges, for example, of this. People hate that. And then the way that this is machined. Some people don't like that. It's kind of bare bones, but I haven't had any problems with it. It works great. I don't know if it was worth the money yet. I'll do another video in the future in a couple of years, let you know if it's been a pile of shit. Many people complain these come dry and that they've had bearing problems with them. They're easy to fix and work on. So I do have a custom slow pitch jig that's a Thrasher being made that I'm about to get it, and I'm going to pair that with an accurate Valiant. Another made in American reel for slow pitch jigging. That's jigging that I've gotten into a lot. And this is my Thrasher rail rod that's custom wrapped. That was wrapped by Marcel Sampaga in Tacoma. And I can't wait for the custom slow pitch. So as far as jigs, I'm going to say this right now. At least in the nighttime, color doesn't matter. I thought it was bullshit. I thought it had to matter. They can see. They're feeling these jigs. They're not, at least at night, they're not necessarily seeing them. They are feeling them through the water. There is certain actions imparted on these jigs that they cannot resist also. Like the slow pitch flutter. This is a Giro lures, Julian's Biscuit. Julian is apparently a deckhand on the Pacific, not the Pacific Queen. He's a deckhand on the Polaris Supreme. So he fishes a lot, and this is his design jig through Gyro Lures. And it's a killer. I've been using this on rockfish. I plan on using this this year a lot, at least in the daytime, like a 200 gram Julian Biscuit Katy Perry. I can't wait to use this. I bought this initially and I never have used it. It's a 420 gram Johnny Jigs slow pitch. I just love this jig and the action. They recommended this at Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop, actually. At some point, I'm going to try this out. To be totally transparent, I am promotional staff with Gyro Lures, so I can offer you a discount for them. And also be transparent, I was a fan of Gyro Lures before I was pro staff. So like I said, my first time, if you watch the video about my first season, my buddy was smoking them with these Gyro Lure Tomahawks before I ever owned one. And so it was actually the first jig I ever saw work in San Diego. And they work very well, especially the Laser Bomb, the Tomahawk, and Julian's Biscuit. Those 3 jigs and a Tungsten, and you're good to go, basically, other than a couple details. You know, you might... I got my surface irons. I've never done the yellowtail thing yet, either. So poppers and yellowtails and surface irons is still all on my agenda, my bucket list, along with white sea bass. I'm going to try to get down there for that. I want to see how great that is. Another one that I haven't been bid on, but I believe in, is the Silver Zacano. This can simulate bait fish very well. This is a monster jig. A lot of people stand behind this one. And then, of course, you know, the Colt Sniper or the Gyro Darter. Very similar. But I haven't been bid on these yet as far as tuna. But the season is young. I'm going to be fishing the Gyro Darter this year. I've been getting bid on it with rockfish. I know that the bluefin are a lot smarter than the rockfish. Let's not mistake that. And then, of course, I'm going to be bringing SKs. They come ready to fish right out of the package. These hooks are good. Anybody will vouch for that. Another thing, you don't need braid higher than 80 pound. Okay. If people are landing swordfish and cow tuna on 80 pound braid and it's never breaking, the only thing you're going to get with 100, 120 pound, 130 pound is more water resistance. It's going to fall slower and be more to pull up, and with no benefit. I've never heard of anybody breaking 80 pound. Okay. If you have, please comment. And if you're getting value from this video, please subscribe and share this with a friend who's possibly thinking about joining you for tuna in San Diego. And if you're still on the fence about this, do it. It's the best fishing I've ever done. Man, I'm a native Pacific Northwesterner. I grew up fishing buoy tin. I love all the fishing I do here. And this, frankly, ruined most of it. It's on my mind all the time. It's probably on your mind. That's probably why you're watching me talk about it. So either you know or you're about to know. And I can't say enough about it. So stay vertical, listen to the deckhands, and use as much information as far as your planning as possible. Look into moon phases. It matters. That does matter with this fishery. So yeah, I'm going to be fishing. I'm going to be, using the Tungsten. There's a 350 gram Tungsten Gyro Lure cells and 180 gram Tungsten. And I'm thinking the 180 gram pink Tungsten for situate everything from daytime to when 300 grams is appropriate. And if it needs to go heavier, these Tomahawks I know get destroyed. And then I could always go back to the Laser Bomb. These ones you can actually find. This is a Gyro Lures makes this, but this is a very generic lure that you can actually find this body. Just look up a tuna bomb online and you can find this really cheap. This is a generic one. These other Gyro Lures ones, all this other stuff I'm showing you, like the Julian's Biscuit, is unique to them. It's kind of like an SK. It's going to flutter fall. Okay. Here's an SK. Here's a Julian's Biscuit. Similar size, okay. Same type of jig, okay. Your tuna bombs are going to be like everything from like this Laser Bomb to these. They're effective. They're heavy. They fall fast. They're aerodynamic. They're shaped like a tuna. They aren't hydrodynamic. They're gonna go through that water like a torpedo. So yeah, that's what I'm bringing. So one last thing about the Steve Carson with Penn has a system that I bought into where you need 5 setups to fish San Diego. You need your 25 pound finesse setup, and for me that's going to be the Star Drag Fathom 15. You need a 30 pound setup. For me, it's also going to be a Fathom 15, but a lever or two speed. Okay. And then you need like a 40 pound setup for daytime fly lining for when they're heavier. 40, 50 pound setup. For me, that's the Avet. This is the JX. Okay, the 6.3 JX 2 speed. Handles 40 or 50 pound, no problem. Okay. I would throw in there that you would a spinning rod or a popper rod, especially if you're not familiar with casting with a conventional. Everybody in San Diego uses these conventional reels. Okay. Most people do not use these spinning reels, although they are getting better. And there are some really expensive spinning reels. If it's a deal breaker for you, there's some kick-ass spinning reels. But for laying it on the rail, you got to lay your rod on the rail a lot. And these do not work for that. It's in the way. Okay. It's not impossible, but it's just not ideal. Okay. But for casting a popper or a surface iron, have one of these in your arsenal, especially if you're not comfortable casting a conventional without getting bird's nests. I would use the spinner with a popping rod for either the popper, the surface irons, and then I would even like use it to tie a sniper on. Anything you wanted to bomb out fast on them and not worry about tangling. And then for me, or for Steve Carson recommends a like 60 to 80 pound like daytime sticker rig / light nighttime rail rod. For me, that's my custom Thrasher with my Penn Torque 40. And I've got so much confidence in that setup as far as the braking strength of that rod and the power of that reel. It wasn't really tested by 130 pounder. So I do eventually plan to get that 5th setup, which is that heavy cow nighttime rail rod setup. For me right now, I'm also adding a slow pitch jigging setup to this first because it's so effective and fun. That slow pitch flutter imparts an action on the jig that they just really can't resist. And it's a fun way to catch everything from rockfish to, I mean, you name it. Like these flutter slow pitch jigs really get smacked. If nothing else, learning to do that's going to get you a lot of fish. So yeah, eventually I'm going to get the heavy nighttime setup. Right now, I don't see a scenario. I think this Torque 40 could handle a 200 pounder. It might not be ideal, but no one wants to lose the fish of a lifetime, so I'll probably end up adding the 5th slot. But that's what I'm taking to San Diego this year. I've only got one trip planned. Thanks for tuning in, and I will let you know soon how it goes. Thank you.